All right, everybody, we are back. All right, so we left off with Sheldon High School. We're gonna continue with the current events. We're gonna talk about Drake's new song that he dropped. I guess it's kind of like I don't know if he dropped it, but it's kind of like a leak. I guess like supposedly his album was low key leaked, at least like 14 songs or something. I don't know. I only did a brief search on Twitter. You can never really trust Twitter, but I did hear some of the songs.
You can always trust Twitter.
It sounds like it actually did leak. What'd you think? Did you?
I listened to that one song. Yeah,
I think it was like War or something. No War or something.
Yeah, that one sounded. I mean, it sounded good. And then I also, in addition to hearing that song, I listened to the full versions of the other two songs that he dropped last week.
We're not even recording, bro. Let's do it again. All right, now we're good.
All right, go ahead.
And we are back. Thank you for your patience. So we talked about Sheldon High School and local news and the coronavirus. Now we're gonna move on to the next one, which is Drake's new song. So supposedly, according to Twitter, his album has leaked about 14 songs. I kind of did a brief search, so I don't really know, but I did hear some of the singles, and I thought they were cool. What'd you think?
Yeah, I heard the one he dropped. I think it was called "Don't Run," something like that. But it was dope. And in addition to listen to that song, I listened to the full version of "When to Say When" that I was able to find, or actually, one of my boys was able to find for me. I listened to the full version of that, and I listened to the full version of the Chicago Freestyle, and like they were way better than. Because I liked the initial versions. I heard the YouTube video that he dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the full extended versions. They were really good. So I really like the vibe he's bringing. I mean,
I was gonna ask what kind of vibe you think the new album is gonna be, because he's always dropping in the summer.
Yeah, pretty
much.
It's
probably gonna be June, something fire in June.
Yeah, it's man, I like it. I like the direction. I think it's from what it sounded like, it's vintage Drake. I mean, he never really puts out bad music anyway, but definitely something to be excited for, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Nice. I mess with it. Speaking of new music, yesterday was Friday. You know what that means. And a lot of things dropped. Just to name a few, Lil Uzi, shout out. He's finally able to drop music. It's been a while. Bad Bunny. We got Megan Thee Stallion. Dropped her little EP, Sugar. We got Demi Lovato and Janae Aiko. And a couple other people. What stood out to you?
For sure. Well, I listened to your album, which was dope.
Shout out me. Limitless out now.
For sure. But I listened to Janae's album, the whole thing. Or not the whole thing. I listened to all but like maybe 2 or 3 songs.
How do you say the title?
I'm pretty sure it's Chilombo. Yeah.
Chilombo. What does that mean? Do we know?
I don't know what it means, but
she's so like chill and relaxed. And just when I think of her, I think like green tea.
Wow, that's an interesting take.
It is.
But nah, that's her last name though. It sounds
Chilombo.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know.
I'm Nigerian. It actually sounds Nigerian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But it's some kind of it's definitely has the African roots to that name. You can just tell by looking at it.
Yeah, I like her.
But nah, the album was super dope. Like
she got Absol on it. I didn't see that. Yeah, I only listened to about 5 songs yesterday.
Yeah, you should listen to the whole thing, man. It's from what I heard, it's dope.
What song stood out to you? I like the Nas one actually. Nas was cool.
Oh, for sure, of course. Fire. I like the one with John Legend a lot. I like the one with that she had with her. And then
I actually like that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so her album was really good. I listened to Meg. I listened to a couple songs that Meg had that were really they were bangers. I mean, which one? Captain Hook was
Captain
one
Hook was a banger.
That was a banger. That was super banger.
What other one was a banger? It was Savage. Savage was a banger.
Okay, I haven't listened to that one yet.
Captain Hook was nice. She went off. Savage. Dude, honestly, like the one I did not like was the BITCH, her single.
Oh, really? I heard that already. Yeah,
but that was her single.
I like that one. I thought it was cool.
It was alright.
But I mean, I think it was cool for a single off the. But
shout out Megan though, being able to release music right now due to her contracts with 1500. That's been like circulating around where she's kind of suing them. She's suing her like first record.
Yeah, I was hearing a little bit about that, but I didn't really delve too deep into it. But Yeah, I'm glad she's able to put something out though. She's man, she's definitely. I would say definitely my top female rapper in the game right now.
For sure.
She's killing it.
She's
killing
nice,
it.
and she's so young too. So she got like a lot to learn still.
Definitely.
Like it's pretty cool, and like the fact that she was like, I listened to a breakfast interview yesterday. The fact that she was just like so brutally honest that she's still going to school.
Yeah.
At like rap's not exactly what she want to do. It's just like really her making money, but like with the rap money, she wants to open like a nursery home pretty much.
For sure.
And then who she wants to run it while she still does her rap stuff is like her classmates that were like that are in her school right now in
that's
Texas,
dope.
which is like, damn, that's like so sick. Like
that's super cool. Yeah, I mean,
that's straight entrepreneurship, straight business, exactly what we talk about and instill in you. Like she has her side hustle, which is rap, which is more like her main hustle, and she's still schooling it up, and she's still balling. Like
definitely, I think that's why she's such an inspiration to a lot of people. And why she's so popular. She's definitely doing things the right way. She's definitely a good role model. So
for sure,
that's why I mess with
her. I did hear Little Skies and Lil Durk's song. I don't know if do you mess with Lil Skies? You know.
I mean, I've heard some of his music. I think he's a good talent, but I haven't heard too much of it.
For sure. I actually like his music a lot. And actually Lil Durk's verse on there was pretty nice. So, and I don't really listen to Lil Durk, but I messed with it. Good job, guys. Ro James, like an R&B singer kinda, dropped a song yesterday called Touchy Feely. Kind of weird. Like I'm a big Ro James fan, but it was just kind of like it was a little like too much party next door, trying to stretch for like the weekend vibes.
For sure.
But I don't know.
I mean, I can't really judge the guy. I don't know.
You don't know
his music.
Check it out. I think you'll actually like it. It's
You think I like the song that you just
no,
said? Was
Ro
weird?
James, the artist.
Nah,
I think you'll like the artist.
All right, for sure. I check him out.
Pretty solid. Yeah. So yeah, new musics. If you have any new music suggestions, let us know what we should check out. I'm always down to support and check out underground hip hop. Anybody who's unknown and not in the spotlight, I'm down to shout them out. If you're an artist yourself and you'd like to come do an interview, hit us up at the misguidedpod@gmail.com, and let's make things work. Let us hear your story. That's what we're all about here with storytelling. So we're gonna move on to our Hella Misguided segment, which is pretty much of what are people's opinions. What do you think is wrong?
Yeah, what are people misguided about? In today's society.
Let's start off with you. I've been talking a little too much. Go ahead. What do you think?
Yeah, you've been talking way too much. I'm not gonna lie.
I talk a lot too, especially. Hey, you lucky I'm not drunk right now because it would be a wrap.
All right. Shoot. So I'm gonna say, for what I want to talk about today, I think something that people are hella misguided about is, I'm gonna say investing. I think people are hella misguided about investing, and I think that a lot of people feel like you need to have a lot of money to start investing. But really, anybody can start investing. And also, I think that people do have fears about investing, especially knowing what's going on with like the stock market right now, how stocks are tumbling due to the aforementioned coronavirus. So I think that's something that people are misguided about. And I want to let people know that anybody can start investing. You can invest $1 a day. You could even invest just your change. You could invest your spare change. There's apps out there. There's Acorns, Wealthfront. You could all you gotta do is do a little bit of research. You could really start to set yourself up for a better future. And the crazy thing is, the biggest thing about investing is not how much money you invest. It's when you start investing. Because if you're 20 years old and you start putting $5 a day into an investment account, within 30 years, that account's going to be over $1 million, which is crazy because
it's just that coffee a day that you spend at Starbucks is like, if you invested that, you'd be a millionaire in 30 years. And all it takes is time.
And not only that you'll be a millionaire, but you'll be a millionaire off of one account.
One account.
That's
like,
one account.
Yeah, just $5 a day, but you obviously are working a 9 to 5 or whatever, and you're still doing your other stuff.
Exactly. That's separate from your 401k or your IRA. That's separate from
That's your pocket change.
Yeah, that's separate from a personal portfolio that you may have. That's separate from your own savings that you have. Like if you have a money market account or a certificate of deposit. And there's just so many different pots to put money into that a lot of people don't know about. One of the things that I learned about was recently was a life insurance. Life insurance is something that people don't think about, but it's just another it's just another pot that people could put money into that's gonna appreciate that gains interest. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of crazy. I don't want to dive too much on one thing because I'm not a financial advisor, but I do have a lot of knowledge about certain things. But anyway, that's just another pot that people don't think about. So all I was saying with that was just like that's just another account that people could have just to put money into.
Just to educate yourself. I'd say so, this is kind of like the takeaway: educate yourself on investments and how to invest. Because you don't want to just invest your money blindly, especially if if you're investing a lot. I mean, it sounds like $5 isn't a lot, but once you're investing $5 for 2 years, it's a lot of money in there.
Yeah, and that's because of the idea of or the concept of compounding, mm-hmm. because the money is not being you're not only making money off the interest one time, you're making money off interest off of money that you're putting in, and then that same money is compounding, which means it's reinvesting itself over and over and over over a certain span of years. So it's not growing linearly, it's growing exponentially. So it's pretty crazy concept. But yeah, it's just like, takeaway from that is just I think everybody should educate themselves on investing, and everybody should invest in some way, some shape or form.
And it's so easy nowadays. Like YouTube, guys, that's our best friend. Like we didn't have that growing up for us millennials and the generation before. In the 90s, now we have the resources to really just, if we have a question that pops up in our head while we're driving, we could be like, hey Siri, Google this, and bam, you got your answer. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then the other thing, the other big takeaway about investing that I just wanted to briefly touch on is just not being fearful of putting your money into specific stocks or things like that. I know a lot of people who are young investors, peers of mine, that pulled out some of their money or all of their money because of the recent turn in the stock market this past couple weeks. But if you're a long-term investor, you have to stick with it, because over the last 100 or so years, the stock market, as the real estate market, it always goes up. So even when you hear about these crashes and these huge dips and we're headed for another recession, which we probably are. I don't know if it's going to be because of the coronavirus. So I'm not sold on that. But regardless of the coronavirus, we are headed for a recession. But I mean, it always happens, and then it's always going to correct itself. But if you're a long-term investor, you have to keep that money in. You can't be fearful. And you just have to know that it is going to appreciate for you, and it's going to pay off for you if you just keep doing it. But yeah, those are the main takeaways. This is only our second episode. We're going to probably get a lot more into and in depth, but this was kind of just wanted to touch on it. I know that's something that people are misguided about, and just something that I want people to have on the forefronts of their brain. Hope I can inspire somebody to do a Google search or watch a YouTube video on investing just by this topic. So. But yeah, what about you? What do you think what do you think something big that people are misguided about?
Well, I kind of want to piggyback off you a little bit. But as far as the investments go, you bring up that there's short-term investors and there's long-term investors. But one thing I wanna really bring up in that I also think people are hella misguided on is you do not invest with your actual money. Your investments is almost a gamble. It should be how do I say this? You don't invest with your savings or the stuff that you live off day to day. You know what I mean? The stuff that you need to pay bills with, that money, you don't invest that. Yeah. Your investing should be a separate pot that you pull from your, that you are actually actively working to. Hey, all right, when I get paid on this Friday, I know how much money's coming in from my job, and I know how much money's going out. You pay your bills first, you go get your groceries first, you pay your car note, whatever you got to pay first that is obligated needs to be paid. You do not need to be investing with that money because that's just gambling, you know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So
yeah, definitely.
I think people are kind of misguided in a ways of how do they invest if they don't have the money?
Yeah.
Because that's how I was. I was kind of scared to, excuse me, I was kind of scared to invest and I didn't really know how. If like my money's going here, my money's going there, like what am I investing in? When you think about it, it's like that $5 a day that we're talking about is a cup of coffee that you. Why are you buying $5 cup of coffee every day from Starbucks?
Right,
like,
right. So
you're
saying,
investing in Starbucks, but you're not investing in yourself.
Right,
I don't
right.
want to hear that. Like
definitely.
So I think that's just another way.
So you're saying what you're saying is invest with your expendable income.
Good word, bro.
So you're saying don't invest with the money that you need for your essential money that you need for your day to day to pay your bills.
Yes.
But if you have the expendable income to put $5 to $10 a day into Starbucks or into eating fast food,
yes,
or just into doing things that are unnecessary,
correct.
Then why not put that money into investing in your future? And like the crazy thing is, it's like it's so easy now. Like when we're talking about $5 a day, we're not talking about like go to the bank and pull out $5 in cash and put it into a piggy bank or a water jug or something like that. Like there's literal apps, like we said, download Acorns, download Wealthfront, and just link it to your account. Link it to your account and set it on $5 a day, and just make that a goal for yourself to always have $5. And if you can't do $5, everybody can't do $5 a day because that comes out to $150 a month.
If you can't do $5 a day, then do like Acorns. Man, they really need to give us a shout out. Shout out Acorns. We're ready for you guys. We both have the app. We both have money in your system. But anyways, Acorn, they do the roundup system. So say I spend $5.68 at Starbucks for a coffee. You can round up to the nearest dollar. So if I spend $5.68, then Acorn is gonna pretty much spend $6 at that Starbucks, and that difference between $6 and $5.68 would be what, $32?
32 cents. Yeah.
I mean,
so they'll round up that 32 cents into your investment account. So every time you're spending, you're investing. Literally every time.
And like, come on, you think about it, and it's like, okay, that was 30 cents that time that I just invested, but how many times do you swipe your card a day?
Exactly.
That's $5 right there.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's like it's definitely something, and like a lot of people, especially our age or people younger than us, when I talk about retirement and saving for the future, some people don't think about it because they're like, that's so far off. But for me, it's like the thing that always gets me is like, look at your parents and think to yourself, would my mom or dad be happy if they had an extra $1 million right now? Because that's what I always think. I'm like, if my mom started investing when she was my age, even a minimum amount, let's say she doesn't invest $5 a day, let's say she could only invest like $1 a day, she'd still have an account by now over $200,000. And think to yourself, would that be helpful to your parents right now? Because my mom is close to retirement age, but if you see my mom, she's very youthful. She's very lively. She moves around, does a lot of stuff.
Nigerian blood, right there.
So it's like look at your parents and look like, hey, like when I'm their age, like, would I be happy to have an extra $300,000 to $1 million? Like, yeah, you definitely would. So you may think it's far off, but it's not. It's not far off at all. And like that's one of the reasons that makes me want to work so hard, knowing that my mom has no retirement savings. She wasn't taught this. She wasn't educated on this. So like, knowing that I want to be able to take care of her and my whole family and just everybody close to me is like what really drives me and wants me make me learn about this stuff. So it's not something that you should put on the back burner. It's literally something you start doing right now. It doesn't matter what job you have. If you're working part-time, you can't tell me that you can't save a couple cents a day, rounding up a few cents a day. So there's like no excuse. Like if you're making money, like if you're making some type of money, there's no reason why you should not be investing.
And if you're not making money, then what are you doing? Because you should go make some money. Like, that's just that. Like, if you're really sitting at home, like, you're just not doing nothing, and you're young, and you're like, you have all this supposedly energy that young people have, and you're just, you're wasting time, you know? Like, time is literally the one thing we can't get back. Time is so valuable. And that goes to investing because time is so valuable. you know, if you're in it for the long term, you will win. You're gonna win.
Definitely. And I'm not gonna be as brutal as Juwan over here, but yeah, if you are somebody who is making some type of money, some type of income, then you have the power and the capacity to invest some of that money. Like if you're not making any money, if you really have no way to find a job, or if you're a student and you just can't make money, I understand, but if you are making any type of income, then it should be some of it should be invested, and that's the biggest takeaway from this section.
Yes, sir. The hella misguided. I hope we guided you in the right direction. You can always hit us up and comment on social media at the Misguided Podcast and let us know your thoughts. If you did not like that segment, if you did, let us know. We love constructive feedback, ain't that right?
Yeah, kind of. Hurts my feelings sometimes, but I mean, it's cool.
Whatever, bro. All right, don't be so soft. All right, now we're going to move into our business segment where we kind of dig into what we've been up to with our businesses, kind of educate you guys in some way, and what we've been struggling with lately, what we've been successful with lately. So, yeah, where do you want to start? What's been going on with you?
You
just had a business call like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, so since this is only our second episode, we're just getting into it. I want to kind of start from the bottom and, work our way up to more complex topics.
Shout out Drake. Started from the bottom. Now we here.
All right.
Sorry.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Man, I lost my whole train of thought. So terrible. No, I'm just playing. But anyway, yeah, for this one, I just want to talk about, kind of just go into the struggles of starting a business, and just some of the main obstacles when first starting. So for me, one of the biggest things for starting a business was not having any information on how to start a business.
I was just about to say that.
I think that was the biggest thing. And the second biggest thing was, or I should say, maybe not the second, these are kind of hand in hand, but I would say fear of starting it. That's because I didn't have any knowledge about it.
So is that what you were most fearful, like, when starting it? Where do you think that fear derived from? Was it because you didn't know what's going to happen next?
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
Yeah, because I feel like once I started to understand things, that alleviated a lot of the fear that I had. And having that fear didn't allow me to execute. So
how'd you overcome that?
I overcame that by educating myself, doing a lot of reading, and watching videos, doing research. And I feel like, somebody told me that knowledge debunks fear, and I took that to heart. So I feel like the more knowledgeable you are about a topic,
you got confident.
Yeah, once you get confident, like you become fearless.
Mamba mentality.
Definitely. I would say, like, if I was giving advice to somebody else, I would definitely say to definitely do your due diligence on anything you're about to get into, but at the same time, like, you do want to jump into it. Like, everything is a risk, and you have to know that going in, that regardless of how knowledgeable you are, regardless of how much you know about a topic, how much you prepare for it, there's going to be a risk factor regardless. Anything that is worth it, anything that is going to have a potential of a high reward is going to have a high risk. So I think that for me myself, I would say that I jumped in a little. I mean, I wouldn't say too late, because that's not both businesses that I'm running are successful. But I'm just saying, like, for somebody else,
later,
I would say that don't wait as long. Don't wait too long to start it. Like, if you definitely learn about it, definitely do your due diligence, but still you want to still execute, and don't have the fear, because you have to just know going into starting a business, being of any kind, you're gonna have obstacles, you're gonna have a lot of failures and a lot of losses regardless. So don't let that deter you, because it's going to happen. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, you're going to have failures along the way. You just want to minimize those failures, and you want to learn from the mistakes. So I would say those are the biggest things for me, was just not executing as fast as I wanted to, and just not having a lot of knowledge and being fearful. And I think that that's a big reason why we wanted to start this, is because we want to like share our experience, as well as be a resource for people. Like, that's why we always have our contact information. Like, we'd love for people to hit us up, maybe if they want to know a little bit more. But I feel like we weren't taught a lot about starting businesses or at all.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we have more knowledge about it, we can speak to it more. I wish I had somebody like me to guide me through the process, basically. So would love to help anybody out who has any ideas of starting businesses or any ambitions or aspirations to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, no, that's straight facts. I think that's really good. Because fear does sometimes hold us back, you know. It definitely held me back in ways. As like I feared pretty much starting something and kind of having more failures than success. And I mean that's kind of normal. Like we all think that way, but like I said, I'm already a paranoid person, so like I like to have like a safety net under a safety net under a safety net.
Yeah.
But going into business, you can have that or you can try to have that, but at one point you're gonna fall through all those safety nets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Definitely. And you just got to be like mentally prepared.
Definitely.
And it's not saying don't go into business, but at one point you're gonna hit all of those nets.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. So, yeah, and just to go a little bit more specific, so as I mentioned, like I run two separate businesses. They're both under one LLC, but they're actually two separate businesses. I own a small car rental fleet, and I also host on Airbnb. I have 4 Airbnb properties that I host, 3 in the Bay Area, 1 in Orlando. And so starting my car rental business, my biggest fear was buying a car was, what if I have a month or several months to where this car isn't being rented or all my cars aren't being rented,
mm-hmm.
and I can't afford the payment.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of my biggest fears, specifically with my business. And
I had the same, I'd say. But then like, the crazy thing is once you get that first car and then you see how well you're doing, and then it's like, okay, you got these months that are just popping. For example, with our car business, the popping months are from anywhere from March to September, really. Those are like the heavy hitters. I'm talking one car is making a lot of money, and you see that you just build up this savings, and then for the slow months, if you were to have that slow month of where you didn't make, no one's renting your car or half the people are renting your car, you know, you have that cushion from the good months to really take care of those months where you're in low points.
Yeah,
right?
I mean that's true, but I mean my point is kind of that like you still never know going in though.
You never know, but I'm saying once you take that risk or once you take that leap and get over that fear, because at one point you had to get over that fear. What made you decide like that you were gonna overcome the fear of those low months, being worried about those low months?
What made me overcome that fear was knowing that if I didn't try it, I would never know.
Exactly.
So, and if I'm gonna fail, I'd rather fail now than fail later.
Exactly.
Because if I fail now, I could learn from it and try to fix it, or I'll learn that this just isn't a sustainable business and this isn't a scalable business and it's not gonna work for me. It's not something that I want to put time into.
Yep.
And by jumping into it, when I did, like I learned that it was a good business for me, and I learned that it was scalable, and I learned that I could acquire more vehicles for this fleet. And 2 years later, now it's a successful business that's been growing each year so far, and is doing really well. But it's something I wouldn't have known if I never tried it. But that was the biggest fear for me, starting a business, and that's how I overcame it.
Yeah, that's good. That's straight facts. I mean, you guys just gotta jump, you know. Don't be so scared. I mean, it's okay to be scared, but you gotta take that leap of faith, because I think I talked about this in episode 1, but the best investment you can make is in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, and you know, I know you, Mike, like if at one point you were failing, and when you took that leap and you didn't have enough money to make the monthly payments, you would figure it out. You go Uber or you go do something to, you know, not dig yourself in a deeper hole.
Yeah, definitely.
You'd at least do something to keep yourself surfaced until the
definitely.
car business picked up again. And that's just believing in yourself.
Absolutely.
And that goes a long way. So, I think that's a great point, for sure. Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of, you know, how to start a business is get over that fear of actually starting the business, and be smart when you start it. I'm sure. I mean, you were very smart and kind of step by step in doing it. As far as, okay, I mean, your first car was what, a 2008 BMW, if I remember correctly. Yeah. It's not that expensive. It's not that big of a risk. I mean, it still was because it's a BMW and those are always expensive as hell. But it was a 2008, you know, and you started the business in 2016, 15, 18. Oh, see, I'm way off. So, um, yeah, it's just you gotta know. Like he didn't jump in and was like, all right, I need $100,000 from the bank. Bam. He jumped in and was like, I think you bought the car for what? Let him know.
I bought that first car for $9,000.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, you think about it. If he failed at that first start, 9,000, you could. Yeah, he had a 7 year term. You could easily, you know, not be screwed forever.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's all I'm saying is don't. If you're gonna start a business, don't jump in with like $200,000 in debt, because then you're digging yourself a big
right
hole.
Right. Take risk, but take calculated risks.
That's what I'm saying. Perfect. Yeah, because calculated risk.
And, don't take a blind risk.
Yeah, you'll be set, guys. I think that's very important. Is there any other takeaways you want to talk about as far as a business?
Shoot, I mean, obviously we'll jump a lot more into it as we go along, but when starting, those are the biggest things for me when starting, and I think that's the biggest things for a lot of people is just fear and lack of knowledge. So those are I definitely just want definitely just want to like reiterate that, like make sure you just educate yourself as much as you can, read books.
Sorry to interrupt, but speaking of books and stuff, I actually did want to I know we gave some books out on the last one. Any books, podcasts, or YouTube videos, or YouTube people who have helped you? I know you've shared some YouTube people with me as far as like real estate and stuff, and the people, you know, that kind of explain the how-tos. Let's shout them out, man. I mean, it's all about spreading love and positivity.
For sure. Obviously, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Rob Kiyosaki. Obviously, Gary Vee is a great guy to watch. If you're into real estate, I really like a guy named Chris Cron.
He's cool. His videos are very easy to understand.
Yeah, he taught me a lot. So if you're big into real estate, definitely watch Chris Cron on YouTube.
It's Cron with a K too.
Yeah, make sure you watch him on YouTube with books. I know last time I shouted out the $100 Startup. It's one of my favorite books when starting off. Also, a book called Start Something That Matters, and it's by it's the founder of Tom's who wrote the book. I'm pretty sure his name is Brett Mykowski. So that's a really good book that I think will help a lot of entrepreneurs who are really connected to the community and want to start something that's not just about profit, but it's more about, obviously about profit, but also like changing the world. So that's a book I would definitely recommend to people.
Facts, right?
Yeah, those are some good ones.
I'd like to shout out an audible book or a book by the rapper Russ. I'm not sure if I shouted it out on the last one, but it's called It's All in Your Head. And speaking of getting over that fear, I think this book is perfect for that, to help you, get over that fear of starting a business, because it is all in your head.
For sure. And
once you get over that, you'll be just fine. And we're here to guide you through every step. If you have any questions about business, you can email us at themisguidedpod@gmail.com. But that's gonna be my shout out. I really suggest you guys go read that. It's really quick. The Audible I think was 3 hours.
For sure.
So and I mean Russ, man. If you guys know who Russ is, listen to his music or his interviews. I think you should really listen to his interviews. Just like Nipsey, man, he literally has like the same mindset, and it's just amazing.
For sure.
It's amazing to see an artist, want better for themselves and for others. And yeah, he does it in a cocky way, but fuck, I mean, we're all cocky off camera and away from our phones. So he's just cocky in front of the camera. So yeah, I think that concludes our business section.
All right, for sure. Yeah. That concludes it for this segment. We got a bunch to talk about. We'll, that's just just getting started. We're just hitting the surface right now. We're gonna keep growing. We'll get into more complex topics and things and more specifics as we go on. But that's it for today. Let's jump into our hella conclusions. This is how we conclude the podcast. How we're gonna conclude it each time. We're each gonna ask each other a question. A question related to the podcast, related to current events, music, business, whatever.
Pretty much the hella conclusion section is to really give you guys an understanding of who we are and how we think, because we are very similar in ways, but we also have different point of views or perspective in many ways.
Also very different.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. And we would love to hear your thoughts. If you have questions that you want to propose, just hit us up on the podcast. We'll shout you out, whatever. But just drop a question that you kind of want to hear us answer.
For sure.
But I think you started last time, so I'll start asking the question.
Yep.
So I thought about this morning. I guess my question is, what scares you the most? What are you scared of as far as, in life? I know we talked about today fearing starting a business, but, what ultimately scares you? Is it dying in a plane crash, or... what scares you the most?
Man, shoot, that's the easy one for me. What scares me the most is losing anybody close to me.
Mm-hmm.
Losing people close to me, and I don't want to outlive anybody I love.
Yeah,
I know that probably sounds weird, but
but
I don't want to be on this earth longer than my mom or my sisters or my girl or I would I'd rather have them be able to live and me be gone. I worry more about losing people. Yeah. But and it sucks because eventually it's gonna happen. We all lose somebody we love eventually. But that easily scares me the most.
Especially with everything kind of happening, the sudden deaths, Kobe, Gianna,
right,
the whole family, just a
you.
random Sunday morning. You never really know it now. The lives of many are changed.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can see that. I see that. I mean, it's just it's scary to think about that because it is gonna happen. You're gonna lose someone that you love that you wish you would have went before them, in a sense,
Yeah.
And it's just kind of how do you deal with that? But yeah, for real, that is. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Juwan. Really uplifting.
Well, I didn't know you were gonna say that. That's why these are the hella conclusion sections are blinded questions. He doesn't know the question I'm gonna ask him, and that's why he's supposed to come up genuine on the spot, like an interview question. And I think that's exactly what just happened.
That was I'm definitely depressed now. But I just watched a movie last night.
I'll give you a hug in front of the camera.
Nah, it's okay. Maybe off camera.
But
I just watched a movie last night called Waves, and shoot,